all the time.
You know what? One time, and it's not even talking, one time we played the Bulls, and we get off, and we're in the playoffs, and we're in Washington. We get off the bus before the game, and Juwan and Jordan are cool. Jordan parks inside his Ferrari. We're getting off the bus, and he's smoking a cigar.
Before the game?
Before the game. And he's like, who's going to check me? Everybody, and we let him down, but we all pointed at Calvin. And Calvin Chaney. And now I think about it, he didn't say nothing. He was just, he planned it, but.
Yeah, well, Michael was interested because, we played in college, and so I used to, like, sometime before the game, before the night before, we, go eat or go to his hotel room and eat. And he was really mad at Reggie Theus because when he got traded, when Reggie got traded, Michael was the draft pick coming in, and Reggie was like, there's no guy who can replace me that's a rookie. So he said, just tell Reggie that I'm going to get 45 tonight. So I went to the locker room, I said, Reggie, Michael said he's going to get 45 tonight.
Theus on the dribble off to the right, takes it in, and Jordan steals the ball. Here's Michael Jordan on the drive, in on Joe Klein, all the way to the hoop, scoop shot. Oh, a spectacular play by Michael Jordan.
So he ended up with 43. And so he comes into the locker room. He said, I didn't get 45, but you got to come to Chicago. Like, now that's Supreme Court. That's Supreme Court. He was mad that he didn't get 45.
Close us out here, Steve. What was the best line you used on anybody?
You know what? Somebody said it earlier. To be a trash talker, you got to be a great player. I just listened. I just sat back.
Why are you kidding me?
I'll be ready. Give me the ball.
You are watching Open Court. Curious Tales.
Hey, Steve, 5, 4, 3.
Suit of armor, don't you?
Anderson, tough shot, forced it on the offensive rebound. Banks free, Jordan the block and the steal.
Happy holidays from the Philadelphia.
My most embarrassing moment, I was just started playing basketball. I was like 10 years old. And it was our, maybe our 5th game, little local league. And it was our first close game. So we were playing in a close game, and the coach calls timeout. He said, okay, we're up. He said, we're going to take our time. We're going to run the clock out. We're going to get on the ball and not let them have an opportunity to win. So I was 10 years old. I've never heard certain phrases before. So I was like, okay, we're going to take it, time, get it into Kenny, and I'm going to sit on the ball, and we're going to run the clock out. He was like, so when they threw the ball in, I grabbed it, and I said, so the team, the team doesn't know what's going on, right? So everybody's like laughing in the gym, and then the kids are running at me. I get it up and the clock runs out. So my coach is just cracking Mr. Wilmar Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin coming up with me, goes, one thing I've never said about you, son, your coach is
Steve Kerr, it's your turn.
Well, I've had a few of them. I routinely got embarrassed by these guys who are a lot faster than me, for sure. But I actually had to guard Michael. I played in Cleveland for the Cavs for a few years and started about 20 straight games because Craig Elo was injured. And most nights it was all right. I could find somebody I could guard, but here we play the Bulls, and I got Michael. So we start out the game. I get first shot of the game, first possession. He closes out on me. I knock down a jumper. I'm feeling pretty good. Next couple minutes, he's just kind of dumping the ball inside. We played 5 minutes, he hasn't scored, and I'm kind of feeling pretty good about him. And finally I realized he hasn't shot yet. So he's just trying to get everybody else the ball. Long story short, he finished with 48, and I finished with 2. It was like, bam, all of a sudden it was like decided I'm gonna start scoring now, and I'm gonna guard the guy, and there was nothing I could do.
Shaq, did anything embarrassing ever happen in your career?
I always took pride in being a big man that never got back on. So one time in New Jersey, all the pads, playing against Derek Coleman. And the other Coleman was left-handed. So Derek has me on the block. And he takes 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, drop step, hit me with the leg, dunk. And I didn't even know he dunked it until I came down and the ball hit me. And when I turned around to him, he did me like that. And I looked up, and my mom and dad. I went to the bench, and I had a little tear in my eyes. Oh, so mad.
Look, I was Janet Jackson before wardrobe malfunction. This goes way back too. This goes way back before Janet Jackson, before the pasties and everything. Back to high school basketball. Yeah. Thank God it was in the 80s. It was close, but look, I was a freshman. I was playing JV basketball. I didn't think I was going to be able to get in. Look, I didn't think I was going to be able to get in. I had my uniform on, but I forgot to put my shorts on. And as you know back then, when you wore drop straps, you wore just a drop strap. It wasn't tight back then. It was a drop strap that showed your... It just had it over. A drop strap. We know that I didn't think I was going to play. I didn't think I was going to play. I'm riding the pine, and coach was like, really, you're in. I'm thinking... And I totally forgot because it's, fourth quarter. You can score table. I take him off. I'm like,
Then you were like, oh, it's bad. Who's at the game, man? You start doing the Janet Jackson.
I don't have Justin Timberlake to cover my ass. I don't have nothing to do with it. It was just me like that. I mean, I was the original Janet Jackson. Sorry.
Ernie, what was your most embarrassing moment on television? We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to go in there. I was thinking it would probably be
I know it is.
Paris Island.
Help me down here, boys. I'm dying.
The other thing, and we could get the video for it, is when you win the dunk contest in the last.
Actually wearing Dominique Wilkins shoes.
Ernie, you were in Brooks. And your newborn son's shorts.
And I wore somebody really bad white shorts.
He had on diapers.
But you know what? As bad as that was, it was nowhere near Janet, I'll tell you that.
A rose by any other name still smell as sweet. I mention that for a few reasons. First of all, you sound pretty smart when you quote William Shakespeare, and that automatically leaves a little gravitas to the proceedings. And then there's the fact that Shaquille O'Neal has probably had as many nicknames as any other player in the Hall of Fame this side of Earl the Pearl Monroe, who also went by a few, including Thomas Edison, for all the moves he invented. He was also known as Black Jesus. But unlike Monroe, Shaq has shown creativity and imagination by coming up with all of his own nicknames. He has called himself Shaq Daddy, Shaq Diesel, Shaq Food. His brilliant dance moves earned him the Big Baryshnikov. He was the big cactus and or
Captain
the big
Price, you're a fucking
shactus
hoe.
while he was in Phoenix. He was the big leprechaun
Why
or
are
the
you
big
shouting?
shamrock while he was in Boston. And he called himself the Big Aristotle because the original inspired him with the following. Excellence is not a singular act, it's a habit. You are what you repeatedly do. Now, one of my personal favorites has always been Chocolate Chambernese. And it was an ode to two players O'Neal brought to mind with extraordinary power and strength, Daryl Chocolate Thunder Dawkins and the Big Dipper Wilt Chamberlain. Chocolate Chambernese. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, Superman Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal captured the imagination of the basketball world with overwhelming power and unique athleticism for a man of his stature. Becoming a two-time consensus first-team All-American at Louisiana State University.
Every year at LSU, he got better. He didn't want to be good, he wanted to be great.
But as impressive as he was in college, when O'Neal hit the NBA in the fall of 1992, he would embark on a mission to become one of the most dominant forces ever to play the game.
When Shaq came into the league, he had such a great passion and enthusiasm for the game. With his size and strength and mobility, it was something we really hadn't seen.
O'Neal runs the floor, takes it all the way.
He's huge, he's menacing. He really just attacked the rim.
That's a match, Jack. And even Shaquille was impressed with that one. Oh, what a dunk.
After collecting the Rookie of the Year award in 1993, Shaq would win the first of two scoring titles 2 years later while carrying the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals and establishing himself as one of the most engaging personalities the league has ever seen.
He really just took the league by storm, but he did it in Shaquille O'Neal style. He was just as big off the court as he was on the court, and when he went from Orlando to the Lakers, LA just loved him.
I get strong, and the more stronger I get, nobody can stop me.
He's this funny, jovial guy. But in between those lines, I mean, he's not playing around.
Shaquille, fade away.
He played with such a viciousness. I've watched him put centers to shame.
Shaq brought a whole different element to basketball. He was going to be the dominant initial force that we had. He took on the mantle of, we have to win. Now's the time to win.
Kobe on the move. Louds for O'Neal for the dunk.
The 15-time All-Star would be named the league's most valuable player in 2000. The same year, he won the first of 3 straight championships and 3 NBA Finals MVP awards.
A three-peat for the world champion Los Angeles.
Introducing the Google Pixel 4a. Get a lot less slow charging, thank you, for a lot less. Finally, a phone with less waiting. Pixel 4a, the new Google phone with fast charging.
You put LA back on the map. You brought that belief back to Los Angeles that we're playing for titles and nothing else.
Shaq the man, most dominant player in the world.
Shaquille is one of the great Lakers of all time. Over a 10-year period, he was the best center in the league. That is absolutely a mark of greatness.
Upon moving on to Miami, the 7th leading scorer in league history added to his resume with a 4th NBA title in 2006.
The history of big men is right in that handful of greatest centers ever.
To win the championships that he's won, the long career, the impact that he has had on the game.
Most physically dominant player ever to play in this game.
There'll never be anybody like Shaquille O'Neal, ever. It won't even be close.
Welcoming Shaquille O'Neal to the Hall of Fame are Julius Erving, Alonzo Mourning, Bill Russell, and Isaiah Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, Shaquille O'Neal.
I'd love to thank these wonderful gentlemen for bringing me in. The Hall of Fame committee asked me to choose one, but as all the coaches know that have coached me, I'm not good at listening to rules. So I picked four. You know, these four have done so much for me. Alonzo Mourning, arch nemesis turned great friend. We both entered the league together in 1992. Had fierce battles together, so he dunked on me, I dunked on him. Then in 2006, we joined forces together to win his first and my fourth title for the Miami Heat. Thank you, Joe. Couldn't have done it without you. Isaiah Thomas was a man who pulled me aside one day at an All-Star game and explained to me how a team leader was supposed to carry himself. We now work together. We're friends. He's a business mentor. Thank you very much, Mr. Isaiah. Bill Russell, give it up to the greatest big man to ever play the game. When I first met Mr. Russell, we talked for about 3 hours. Talked about his life, his game, and what he had to endure as a player. I realized then that I should never complain about anything. Mr. Russell, this means a lot to me that you would honor me on this day with your presence. Thank you, sir. And last but not least, Julius Dr. J. Erving. Hey, I know he's your guy, and yeah, he's your guy, but he's really my guy. I always dreamed of being as good as Dr. J. I used to dream about this man so much that one time he broke into my college dorm room and woke me up. Remember that, Doc? I thought I was dead. I was sleeping, and a good-looking brother man put his hand on my chest. I was like, God? I was like, Doc, how the hell you get in my room, bro? I dreamed about this man so much, he moved next door to my parents in Orlando. I dreamed about the Doc so much that he answered the phone when I needed basketball advice. And now my idol walking into the Hall of Fame. Thank you, brother. The great Jim Valvano once said, the greatest gift anyone can give another person is believing in them. So I'd like to start by saying thank you to those who first believed in me. My first thank you goes to my beautiful mother, Lucille O'Neal. We started off alone together in Newark, New Jersey, with you being a single mom. My first recollection was of you fighting with the bus driver because he refused to believe that a 2-year-old could be this big. But I also remember you ultimately convincing him with that right cross. Mama said, knock you out. And him holding his hand over his right eye, agreeing, saying, yes, man, kids 2 and under do right for free. I apologize. Though we were alone, family was never too far away. My great-grandmother, Scylla O'Neal, grandmother, Odessa Chambliss, Uncle Roy, Aunt Vivi, Aunt Velma. Because of the love and generosity of family, Mom and I always had a place to lay our heads, and a place where I was able to have my favorite food, which happens to be everything. Then one day, while working at City Hall, Mom met the man who would become the biggest male influence in my life, Sergeant Philip Arthur Harrison. He was a student of the game. It was because of him I was introduced to the game and developed a love for basketball. He realized that I was going to be a big guy. So I remember he made me memorize 3 names and he would quiz me on them. In his eyes, these 3 guys were gods of the game. Bill Russell, give it up.
Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And Bill, again, I'm honored that you was able to walk me in. And I know that Wilt and my father are in heaven smiling down upon us. And if I know my father, he's up there arguing with Wilt Chamberlain right now, trying to convince Wilt that his son is the most dominant big man to ever play the game. My first exposure to leadership was when I was given babysitting duties while mom and dad worked and having to corral my brothers and sisters. In a way, this is where I led my first corporation. My sister Latifah was my VP of dishes. My sister Aisha was the chief operating officer of bed making. And my brother Jamal was my director of leads. They would always report to me as I would be in deep thought, eating bologna sandwiches and Frosted Flakes, and watching General Hospital. Luke and Laura forever, by the way. But seriously, guys, love you. Thanks for always being there and being part of this enjoyable ride. I remember the day that gave me great anxiety was when we left Newark, New Jersey, and we ended up in Baalflicken, West Germany. It was really here that started a series of events that have helped create the character known as Shaq. It's important to know that my roots started untraditionally, with no fanfare. As a matter of fact, I was cut by my coach freshman and sophomore year. And I thought about giving it up, so it all ended there. But there were three people who would change the direction of my life. Ford McMurtry. Ford, where are you? White guy back there. Ford McMurtry was my first official coach. We had a travel team similar to AAU. And what I loved about Ford is he saw something in me that others didn't. He gave me the freedom to emulate my favorite player, Dr. J. Yes, people, I was a 6'9" guard. I watched the fish that saved Pittsburgh 50 times. I knew all his moves. Next here is Iceman, known as George Gervin, but Chris Woodard. Chris, where are you? Stand up, Chris. Chris was a, thank you. Chris was a 6'7" Army Base legend. With Gervin like you, and him to the name Ice. When others didn't pick this strong 6'9" kid, me, who couldn't play, who couldn't dunk, it was Iceman who would not only pick me, but push me to hone my skills and pursue my dream of becoming an NBA player. Thank you, Iceman. And last but not least, Daddy Dale Brown. My father came in the house one day and I was sitting on the couch, meat stinking, and he just came and threw the paper. Get your up. There's a college coach up there. You might get a scholarship. Come listen to him talk. I was 6'9", 6'10", couldn't play. Definitely wasn't going to college. So I get up there, but before I go up there, I'm like, you know what, I'm talking to a college coach. Let me go in this dictionary and pull out a big word so I seem smart. So the word I chose was extremities. So Coach Brown is talking, and you know, he gets done with the speech, and I go up to him and say, Coach, hi, my name is Shaquille O'Neal, sir. Can you send me a program to strengthen my lower extremities? And Coach Brown looked at me and he said, sure, how long you been in the Army, soldier? I said, I'm not in the Army, I'm only 13. What? What? Where's your father? I was like, he's in the South. I want to offer you a scholarship right now. And he offered me a scholarship on that day. Coach, thank you. But before I made my mark at LSU, my family and I would leave West Germany and move to San Antonio, Texas, where I would attend high school. It was